Say Brakata Yahweh, Brakata Yahushai, Brakata Yahweh, Brakata Yahushai, Brakata Yahweh, Brakata Yahushai. First and foremost, we want to give praises to Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahushai. Double honors to the apostles and the elders who rule at Great Millstone. And a blessed salutation to the Akims in the four corners of the earth, pushing the gospel in sincerity and truth. Shalom. This evening, I'll call the next lesson to feed the elect of the nation of Israel. The 144,000 and 1/3 men, women, and children. So, like this video, I want to touch on and say Illinois on the verge of being the next Venezuela. Now the economy system about to crash. Right, and I also say the next in line could be in New Jersey, right, which could also be California and Florida, right. So I'm gonna run this video, and as this video run in between, I'm gonna stop and just bring on some precept to edify the elect of the nation of Israel. So let's get this video rolling. Start back from the
In case you haven't seen this in recent news reports, the state of Illinois is about to declare bankruptcy. Yeah, they've run out of money, and we're about to see what happens when the let's play pretend debt bubble collapses. And that's actually a good way to describe this. And I don't remember which author came up with that title, but it was a great story I read recently called What Happens When the Pretend World Ends. And the state of Illinois is about to find that out because they've run out of money. Turns out they have $15 billion that they owe to various creditors, including road repair contractors and so on, insurance companies, whoever, bondholders, lots of people. They owe $15 billion. And they don't have $15 billion. In fact, they have $0. So, Illinois is on the verge of declaring bankruptcy. As of, I think, early July, the road construction and road repair companies are supposed to stop all work. So the roads will fall into disrepair, and Illinois will be on its way to becoming the next Venezuela in America, kind of a third world nation inside America, especially in places like Chicago, which is also the murder capital of the world due to its gun control.
Yeah, so it's Illinois is going to be on the verge of becoming the next Venezuela, and first and foremost, we want to give our praises to Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai, because this is the works of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai. Because in Malachi, if Yahweh say, they will build, but I will throw down. That's roughly paraphrasing. Malachi chapter 4 verse Malachi chapter 1 verse I think it's verse, let me just get it quick. Malachi chapter 1 verse 4. He said, whereas Edom said, we are impoverished, but we will return and build the desolate places. Thus said the Lord Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahushai of hosts, they shall build, but I will throw down, and they shall call them the board of wickedness, and the people against whom Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai had indignation forever. Right, so this piece I was roughly paraphrasing just now. This is why I give our praises to Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai. It bringing down this wicked kingdom, and starting from the infrastructure and hitting the economy right now, because these is part of the devil agenda. It's part of the devil agenda, but the Most High using the devil to bring down his own kingdom. Right, I just want to touch on this precept here, because he said Illinois is on the verge of being the next, becoming the next Venezuela, right? It got then $15 billion in debt, right? This is Psalm chapter 21, verse 11. For they intended evil against thee; they imagine mischievous device, which they are not able to perform. Right, so this elite banking family, this is part of the mischievous. Imagine this part of the mischievous device, because they one of their plan is to chip everybody in the world, to make everybody take the RFID microchip, and this part of the collapsing the economy. They want to they're gonna Salaki, the economy worldwide gonna collapse from the debt of the dollar, like just like what's going on in Venezuela, So this part of the mischievous device is a collapse the economy, kill the dollar, cause the chaos, and then they can come in now as the savior with this microchip. You want me to take this microchip, you could work, you could go back to your normal life, you ain't got to nobody could rob you, because this microchip, you could find you anyway, nobody can kidnap your children. They're gonna use all these things to persuade people to take this microchip, but you so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans, and take the microchip, you're gonna be destroyed by Yahweh Bashem Yahushai, right? So you say Salaki, Psalm chapter 21, verse 11. For they intended evil against thee. Right, there's an evil thing bringing the microchip. There's a very evil thing to chip everybody, to put people in FEMA camp. They imagine a mischievous device which they are not able to perform, but they, the Most High can come in, as it's saying Job, when he about to fill his belly, the Most High can come in on him and destroy him, So this new world order not gonna stand. The Most High can bring it down. The Most High can bring down this new world order, and this part of the mischievous device is to chip everybody,
Mandates that don't allow citizens to defend themselves against the armed gangbangers.
Violent crimes are on the rise in Chicago.
We had a record year in the city of Chicago, and for all the wrong reasons. The murder rate has never. It was a violent and deadly Christmas weekend in Chicago.
Chicago is like a war zone. Chicago.
Murder than we were at the height of the period that has driven Chicago's crime reputation for almost a century.
You calling 911?
This generation is not going to stop.
That's how the gangsters do it. We don't grab choppers.
So the reason I'm bringing this up is because I've been warning natural news readers for years to be aware that your pension is probably going to collapse.
Alright, so I got a little something I want to pull up here with Chicago, right? This is Chicago is more the capital, but I got a chart, right? I'm going to string up this chart a little, right? Alright, it says Chicago homicide scores in context, right? And it's saying it said the 762 murder recorded by the city in 2016 placed in 8th among larger city when adjusted for a population, right? So see, you got the top of the line: St. Louis, then Baltimore, then Detroit, then New Orleans, this Cleveland, New York, Memphis, then Chicago. But it's saying Chicago is more the capital, but this chart showing that St. Louis at the top, right? And then have the figures them 593, 512, 452, 445, 34.7, Salaki, 34, 33.4, 32.5, and Chicago's 27.9, which is 28%, right? So yeah, right. So come out of this and go back to the video.
And now, the state of Illinois, being that it's basically broke, We're going to see a collapse of pension funds for all the retired school teachers, police officers, firefighters, government workers, all across the state. They are trying to live on their pension funds. Those pensions are going to be slashed. Probably, my guess is they're going to be slashed to 30 cents on the dollar. So if you're getting a check from the state of Illinois right now for, let's say, $1,000 a month, you need to count on that check being reduced to $300 a month. Can they do that? Of course they can. Bankruptcy is called bankruptcy protection. It means that they reorganize the cash outflow to creditors, which includes their pension IOUs. So the state bureaucrats, who are frankly mostly left-wing Democrats who just blow through money as if it falls out of the sky or something, they can cut your pensions, they can cut their promises, they can break their promises, and they will. It's now only a matter of time. So if you're a retiree in the state of Illinois, you need to be prepared for this to happen. It's just like I told you. You need to get into gold or silver or some other safer store of wealth, and a pension fund is not a store of wealth. I know people who got out of their pension funds early. They paid the penalty for early withdrawal, they paid the taxes on that, and then they still have money left over. They are going to be way better off than people who are still sitting there hoping that their pension is going to exist after all this bankruptcy fallout takes place. But the real news in all of this, it's not just Illinois, you see. New Jersey's probably next. We've got, Florida. We've got California. Dare I even mention the financial trouble that California is in? States all across America are in real trouble financially.
Yeah, that's like I say, reading Psalms 21 verse 11, a mischievous device. It's to crash the dollar, right? And he saying the next state can be New Jersey, California, and Florida. And he said a lot of states in America are gonna be hit, because this part of that agenda, right? Part of crashing this economy system. Get this Chris up quick day. We're not ignorant to this. We're not ignorant to the Satan device. This party mischievous device. So we're not ignorant to that. Yeah, this is This is 2 Corinthians chapter 2 verse 11. It says, "Lest Satan, which is the so-called white man, because he's the adversary to Yahweh Hashem Yahushua, and also to the people of Yahweh Hashem Yahushua, which is you so-called Negro, Latins, and Native American, lest Satan should get an advantage of us, for we are not ignorant of his devices." So the Lord not ignorant of Satan's devices. We know crashing the economy is one of his main object. To chip in the people with the microchip, which is the RFID microchip, right? So we know this system gonna collapse. This economy system, as we one name Mike Adams say is a bubble, right? Is a bubble that people living in, right? With this fake money, because we spending federal notes, it's fake money. Right, this is Ecclesiastes chapter 12 verse 3. "In the day when the keeper of the house shall tremble," the keeper of the house is the system. The system gonna be shaken up. This economy system gonna collapse. Like I said, how these devils work. They create the chaos, and then they come in like the Mr. Good guys. They would create the chaos. So this banking family, Rockefeller, these devil, right? He said, "In the day when the keeper of the house shall tremble," which is this system, "and the strong men shall bow themselves, and the grinding cease, because they are few." And the grinding is the war. You see a lot of pension are gonna get cut. You know, a lot of school teachers, a lot of military workers like police, soldiers. You know, a lot of people gonna lose a job. You know, it's destruction coming. With this part of these devil devices, it's a cause this big chaos, right? And they're preparing the military. They already have the military prepared to come in. Then got a lot of foreign soldiers in these countries, right? It said Ecclesiastes chapter 12 verse 3, in the day when the keeper of the house, which is the Saltrim, which is the system, and the strong men bow down themselves, and the grinding cease because they are few, which is jobs, right? And those that look out of the window be darkening. So you know the jobs gonna be limited, right? Jobs gonna be limited. It said, and the door shall be shut in the streets when the song of the grinding is low. Work, right? They're not gonna money to pay these people because these states running into bankruptcy. So they're not gonna money to pay these people because they own the federal bank, right? So they can't even pay the federal bank, then can't pay these workers, right? And he shall rise up at the voice of the bird, and all the daughter of music shall be brought low, right? So this economy system about to collapse. Like we said, Illinois is on the verge of becoming the next Venezuela, and I have New Jersey next, California, and Philadelphia, you know.
And part of the reason is that even though states can issue debt in form of bonds, states can't print their own money, so they can't crank out fiat currency like the central bank can. So states can't create unlimited quantitative easing and just dump money into the system. If they could, believe me, they would. But they can't. So they're running out of money, and bankruptcy is now right around the corner for many U.S. states. And what we're seeing really in the big picture is this collapse of the let's pretend universe. If you think about it, in America for the last several generations, we have been playing pretend. We've been in a massive bubble of everything, a bubble of consumer spending, a bubble of debt. We've been in a technology bubble as well, where everybody thinks, oh, augmented reality is going to make the world a better place. No, it isn't. It's going to make the world a more fake and artificial place. It's going to disconnect you from reality. It's not going to enhance your reality. We've been in so many bubbles for so long, but especially spending bubbles and debt bubbles, you know, that have led to the real estate bubble and the bond market bubble and the commodities bubble. All of these bubbles, construction bubble. These bubbles are all rooted in, you know, fantasy land thinking. And as a result, they're all going to collapse, and probably very close to the same time. Between now, which is late June 2017, and the end of 2020, which is the next presidential election, by the way. So between now and the end of 2020, things are going to crash hard in America. We will see probably the stock market down by 50% or more. We'll see the tech stocks, especially NASDAQ, crushed by maybe as much as 60 to even 70% on the extreme end. We're going to see a crash in real estate markets back to prices that were maybe around the 2005 level. We're going to see crashes in bond markets, crashes in commodities markets, and we're going to see crashes in state debt and national debt markets with the downgrading of debt instruments by ratings agencies, which are mostly corrupt anyway. So much wealth is going to be destroyed or consumed or just vanish, really, because it never existed. As all of this leverage unfolds and you have really what's called systemic deleveraging, you're going to see apparent wealth vanish. It's the illusion of wealth that is disappearing because it was never real in the first place. You know, speculative markets, if you're just buying into things and the price keeps going up and up and up, but it's not really contributing in a real way to quality of life or the economy or innovation, speculative markets always crash. Bubbles always burst. And right now there's so much leverage in the system and so much debt in the system, so much overspending in the system that it's going to be catastrophic. And the truth is that almost no one is prepared for the crash that's coming. I mean, how many people in Illinois, for example, who are retirees living off that pension check, do they have an extra $1,000 a month to cover the $1,000 that they might lose or the $700 per month they might lose? The answer is no. For most people, no. A lot of people are living precariously, paycheck to paycheck, even in retirement. When they're supposed to have life savings, right? You're supposed to be able to retire at maybe 65 and live, and to the rest of your life on this pension money, or maybe your retirement savings, or the value of your home. And all of those things are crashing. All of those things are on the verge of massive implosions. And the people, the psychology of the people in this country, it's not ready. People aren't prepared for the devastating collapse of their, what they think is a store of wealth. Or
yeah, they're gonna be course. Course in man that put your trust in man. Are you so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native American Indians who put your trust in this system gonna be course. When the system collapses, you're gonna be course. Right? Because you put your trust in a system, which is a man, right? So you're gonna be course. Right? Get this precept very quick. Jeremiah. That's lucky. Right? So as Mike Adams said, the people ain't prepare for this economical crash, economic crash. They say the people ain't prepare for it, But they say this is Jeremiah chapter 17 verse 5. He said, "Thus said the Lord Yahweh, course be the man that trusted in man." Course it's gonna be you Jakes, who put your trust in this system. You so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native American Indian, right? He said, "Thus said the Lord Yahweh, course be the man that trusted in man, and make it flesh his harm, and whose heart depart from the Lord Yahweh." So who heart depart from the Lord? Your mind. Because your mind wasn't focused on Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai. Your mind was focused on this wicked kingdom, making a federal, working and making and saving federal notes. Your mind wasn't set on Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai, to please Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai, to walk in the statutes and laws and commandments of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai, right? So he said, "Of course, be the man that put his trust in man." You gonna be course when the system collapse, right? You gonna be course because as Mike Adams said, a lot of people ain't prepared for this economic collapse. A lot of people don't know what's happening. This thing just hit sudden. This thing gonna hit sudden. This thing gonna shake a lot of people up. You people don't know, not gonna even know where's your right hand from your left hand when this happen, right? Because you get caught up in this bubble, this fantasy world, So you just lost in the bubble, It's Proverbs. I got this one here. This is Proverbs chapter 28, verse 22. "He that hasteth to be rich had an evil eyes, and consider not that poverty shall come upon him." Yeah, this economy system collapse, poverty can come upon you, so-called Negroes, Latin, Native American, Indian. Who especially put your trust in the system, who work all your life and save all your life saving the system. Everything they have in the bank is gonna disappear in 10 years. Every single penny gonna disappear in 10 years. Yeah, you can come to poverty. And this economy system gonna get hard. Just like what happened in Venezuela, gonna come into all the nation. Because this is part of the mischievous device of the devil, the so-called banking family. It's a crash economy system. So they can chip the people with the microchip.
A money stream that they depend on, like a pension fund. And frankly, these people don't deserve to be punished in this way. I mean, these are good cops and firefighters and emergency response personnel and government workers who.
Yeah, this he's saying that the people not supposed to be punished this way, but this is Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai judgment. This is all about Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai judgment, right? This is Proverbs chapter 29, verse 26. He said, "Many seek the ruler's favor, right? But every man's judgment coming from the Lord Yahweh." This is part of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai judgment. Yeah, this is Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai judgment. right?
Tend to be just low-level government workers just doing their jobs. They're not part of the evil globalist cabal. They're just doing their job. And they put in, 20, 30, 40 years, whatever. They retired. They're supposed to get a paycheck. And now that's being stolen from them. It's going to happen state by state by state. All that money is going to be taken from people. And it's going to be, people may rise up against the massive theft that's taking place. Seriously. People may rise up. By the year 2020, I can't even tell you what kind of chaos this country is going to be experiencing. It's going to be very challenging for a lot of cities or states or regions to get through it. There's going to be a lot of people.
Yeah, these people are going to rise up for real, because all this part of the scriptures too. This part of the scripture. This is 2nd Ezra chapter 15. Verse 14. It says, "Woe to the world and them that dwell therein." Woe means destruction, right? So like destruction means economic collapse. You can get race war, right? You can get famine, right? You can get martial law. They're gonna force the microchip on the people, right? The destruction of America with the thermonuclear missile, and also the Armageddon in the Middle East, right? It says, "Woe to them." So like this is 2nd Ezra chapter 15 verse 14. It says, "Woe to the world and them that dwell therein. For the sword and the destruction draweth nigh, and one people shall stand up and fight against another people." They're going to stand up and fight against the government. Nation and the races and fight against race. Right? People going to stand up against the government because people going to want answers. And that's when they not get no answers. Right? For the sword and the destruction draweth near, for one people shall stand up and fight against another people, and sword in their hands. For there shall be sedition among men, and invading one another. They shall not regard their kings nor prince, and not going to regard the president or the prime minister. And the course of their actions shall stand in their power. And that's really, as well Mike Adams saying, people gonna turn up. They're gonna be uproar. Because the people gonna lose every single penny that they have. Every single thing gonna vanish, right?
Suffering. A lot of new homeless people and a lot of desperate people who are literally maybe even starving, trying to figure out where they can get their next meal. That's coming because of the incredibly irresponsible, massive overspending by not just Democrats, but establishment Republicans as well. All these just fools in Washington, just spending and spending and spending. And the mayor of Detroit, the mayor of Chicago, the governor of Illinois, spending. That's all they know. Because that's the only way they get elected. Because the voters, for the most part, just want to elect whoever's going to give them the most handouts, the most free stuff. And so it's a self-perpetuating cycle of economic suicide. And it's coming. It has begun. So watch for Illinois. It's going to probably declare bankruptcy like Puerto Rico did very, very soon. California may be next. New Jersey may be next. It's going to ripple across the country. Creditors are going to start bailing out of state and municipal bonds because they see this happening. A collapse is now underway. It has begun, and it's just starting to accelerate. So I want you to be safe, stay informed, read my website, naturalnews.com, where I give you a lot of financial preparedness advice, financial survival, how to reduce your risk, reduce volatility, get into real things like gold and land, things that hold value so that you don't get wiped out and burned by what's coming. But thank you for watching this. I hope you stay safe, and I urge you to stay informed. Visit my website, naturalnews.com, for more. My name's Mike Adams.
Yeah, so gold and silver and these things and these things not gonna save you in those days, and not gonna save you in those days, right? Because this, like I said, this is Yahweh Hashem Yahushai judgment. So your gold and silver not gonna save you, right? This is Zephaniah chapter 1 verse 17. "And I will bring distress upon men, that they shall walk like blind men, because they have sinned against the Lord Yahweh, and their blood shall be poured out as dust, and their flesh as dungs. Neither shall their silver nor their gold shall be able to deliver them, in the day of the Lord's wrath, but the whole land shall be devoured by the fire of his jealousy. That's when the economy can collapse, the famine, martial law, microchipping the people, America being destroyed by thermonuclear missiles, Armageddon. This is the most I wrath, the most I can bring on this place, right? He said, neither their silver nor their gold shall be able to deliver them in the day of the Lord's wrath, but the whole land shall be devoured by the fire of his jealousy. For he shall make even the speedy readiness of all them that dwell in the land. Right? So this is the Most High judgment. So the gold and the silver that he talking about, Mike Adams talking about, not gonna save them. This is Yahweh B'Ashem Yahushai judgment. But like I said, these devils, these so-called banking family, right? Salaki, that's so-called the banking family, right? This banking family, the Rothschilds and the Rockefeller, and these devil, there's the mischievous device they're coming up with. It's to cause this chaos. This is what they do. This create the chaos and then come like the good guys. Them are the deceivers. They are the devil, right? And this is the plan they're coming with, right? This is the plan they're coming with, to chip everybody with a microchip, right? And with that, who was edifying, I want to give our praises and glory to Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahushai, double honors to the apostles and the elders who wrote a great millstone, and a blessed sanitation to the Akiums in the four corners of the earth to push in the gospel and sincerity and truth. Shalom.